Hi, welcome back to the channel. We've been blessed with good weather over the last week or so, and this is what we've been up to. It's a gorgeous day today, so we are spending a bit of time in the garden trying to catch up with planting and hopefully getting our pond somewhat started. So Ross dug the hole for the pond, and now we are using a technique that we saw online where you use an old carpet to line the inside of the pond base. You can also use sand. This is just to try and soften the area and make sure that there are no stones that are going to come through and cut through the lining of the pond liner. We picked up a 3 metre by 2.5 metre pond liner to cover the space here, and it was actually the perfect size for what we needed. We wanted to make sure that the pond liner would be large enough to get down to the bottom of our dug hole. It was recommended not to have too many folds in it, as this would create pockets that water and stones and things could get stuck in. So we managed to fold it only twice, and then we secured it in place with some stones. We bought several bags of gravel from a local hardware store. They were pretty mucky, and we knew we needed to clean them before putting them into the pond so as not to encourage algae growth and just to keep the water as clean as possible. So we spent some time giving them a good clean and a wash before putting them in the pond area. We had 2 layers to our pond, so we knew we wanted a gravel layer on the very bottom and a gravel layer on the second layer, which was going to be our shallower area. We're lucky enough to have access to an area that has large rocks. We tried to collect as many as possible, but both me and Ross suffer with bad backs, so this was quite the task. We wanted to line around the edge to secure the edge of the lining, and we also wanted quite a few flat ones that would line the inside of the pond. We wanted a couple of large ones to act as kind of islands, just to add a bit of interest. So we've just put some large stones and some gravel in the bottom of the pond here. The gravel is to kind of fill all the gaps that the large stones kind of don't fill or sit near, and it also gives lots of little hidey holes and spaces for little insects and potentially maybe some amphibians and things later down the line to try and hide and scurry in. But it just gives lots of little habitats and little homes for things to live in. So we're just going to finish off filling the gaps and go around the edge with some larger stones and finish it off looking neat around the edge. We tried to choose a couple of large ones that would be a focal point in the pond area, and also potentially somewhere where we could have cascading water down the line. This was like playing a large game of Tetris. We didn't want the pond to look too manicured or too organised, so it was finding the right stones for the right place where it wouldn't look too staged, I suppose.
we wanted it to look kind of natural but also fit in and kind of cover the pond lining so you couldn't see it. We kept kind of taking a step back and looking at it from different angles and sort of seeing what we preferred, and eventually we did have to sort of step back and go, yeah, that looks good, that's how we want it, but it did take moving things around a couple of times. Filled any gaps that we couldn't fit larger stones in with the gravel that we had left over, just to try and hide the lining. We knew that the lining might be seen once the pond gets full of water and the stones shift a little bit, but we tried to hide it as much as possible. And then we just cut the excess lining off to neaten the edges and to remove any that we didn't need or didn't want to see. I then raked around the edge of where the stones were sat, getting bits of dirt just in between them so that you couldn't see the lining at all, and it just loosened the soil up where we'd been walking and got it ready for us to put plants in. We're really pleased with the outcome. We think it looks quite natural. We love its sort of ruggedness, and we really like the shape that it's created. Just need to wait for the rain now. Which was actually, ironically, in Ireland, not going to happen straight away. After all the rain we've had in the winter and the spring, we are due a dry spell for about 10 days. So not a spot of rain at all, typically just as we've finished our pond. So I'm just up at my in-laws' house where my hives are. I have 4 to check today. It's gorgeous, so it's a perfect day to check, but it is going to be really hot and sweaty, so the sooner I get this done, the better. But this is the first check of the season, so probably a lot to catch up on, a lot to work out what's happening within each hive. So yeah, I really need to crack on. This was the first check of the season as the weather had been very wet and very cold, so I had left it for as long as I could before checking the hives. 3 out of 4 of the hives were quite full, so you can see that I'm having to clean them up a little bit where the bees have put wax and started to fill out where the top board is. I then make my way through the hive, checking for eggs, seeing if I can see the queen, and just checking on the general health of the population of the colony. These 2 hives on this side were actually very docile, so they were very chilled out. I could take my time with them a little bit more. The first colony that I check is always a little bit on the touchy side, but they let me get through the check without any trouble. Out of 4 hives, I put supers on 3 of them to give them more space. All hives were looking pretty healthy. I only saw the queen in 1 of them, but there were eggs present in all of them, so they are definitely all with a queen. There were good stores in each of them. It was just that 3 definitely were ready to have that super put on top of them to give them extra space.
So now that the pond is constructed and we are waiting for rain because the weather has turned out to be so good, we decided to get some plants in, which was actually desperately needed because all of our plants at the minute are in pots. They are starting to dry out, so we really need to get them in the ground so that one, the soil can start having roots going through it and breaking it up, because the soil is actually drying out so much that it is going really, really hard and becoming very difficult to actually plant into. But also the plants in the pots are starting to dry out because they have a limited space. We are watering as much as we can, but obviously they are much better in the ground. So we are planning on putting as many plants in the pond area as a bit of a cottage garden as quickly as possible. So we have planted out quite a few things now in our garden. We had our purple bed that we did before and our fruit salad bed, and we also did show you our little goth garden in a previous video as well. Also, we have now planted up this little section that is behind the fruit salad and the purple garden, and here we have some irises, we've got a hosta, we've got a hebe and a euphorbia at the back there. They were both looking a little bit rough, but now they're in the ground, they are a little bit better. We have an ornamental grass at the back there, some more irises here, and then we have Rebecca and Verbena planted here, another hosta at the front, got a crocosmia at this end, and some heathers just on the edge of the border there. This then goes over to our cottage garden, which then is next to our pond. We really wanted this area to be full of colour and different heights and have lots of interest, lots of textures. We have tried to put larger plants and taller plants in the middle so that there is interest in different heights on both sides of the path. So in the middle we have an obelisk, which will have sweet peas growing up it. Next to that we have a fuchsia, and towards the path edge we have a California lilac. There is a rose hiding at the back there. There is also hollyhocks just next to that, which will get very tall. And next to that is an eryngium, sea holly. More in the middle here we have a solidago and some peonies, some broom, which is in lovely flower at the minute with its sort of lemony yellow flowers. The aquilegia next to it is just coming out, hasn't quite flowered yet. And then there is a crocosmia lucifer, I think that's the red one there. Then we go to our slightly lower plants. We've got achillea and some more hostas, bergamot on this side, there's a hebe just at the back there, and we've got irises here. I do also have some echinops here, which I know they do get very tall, but we kind of want to have these little peekaboo moments where you can kind of see through certain areas but not through others. So I do know that they get very tall, but I will obviously be also cutting them back for cut flowers as well, so we'll keep an eye on it. Then onto the lower lying parts of the garden, which is where the lungwort, some little ornamental grasses and the heathers come in. There is a very low lying hebe just at the bottom here, and I've also got some creeping jenny which will spread out over time. On the other side of the path here, next to the pond, we wanted some taller plants at the back just to kind of frame around the pond. So we've got these beautiful camassia, there is purple loosestrife on that side and foxgloves. Along the back edge here we have a mixture of irises and crocosmia, some veronica, although there's only a little bit there, and then verbena and rebecca here as well. So they will all kind of create this tall spray of colour along the back. There are some ornamental poppies on that side and a lily as well. Then we have slightly lower things like the hostas and more irises just on that side. Down this end we have some yarrow and
I'm just sat next to a lily of the valley, so they will come up. There is also more broom and gladioli actually on this end of the bed here. And then our really low-lying stuff like the lungwort and ferns and some more sort of creeping level plants as well, which should eventually fill out this area. There's also a hydrangea just at the back there next to the big ornamental grass, just to be a big sort of show-stopping bush for the edge of this particular bed. In this space just behind me here on each side of the path, we have chosen this area to showcase our hostas. Now, I mentioned earlier in a video that we absolutely love hostas. We have quite a few different varieties, and so we figured why not make a specific area to put our hostas and have beds for them, all our individual ones. It's something that we're using to kind of link all of our beds together in the garden because we have so many, so each bed always will have a hosta in it. So that is something that is sort of fluent throughout all of our garden beds. But we definitely wanted to have this little area as a garden bed as well, and because it can be a little bit shadier, and because we're putting a fence and some of our more bushy and taller plants on the edge of the cottage garden next to the pond, this area was also going to be quite shaded. So hostas love shade. We figured this would be the ideal area to put them. That's it for this week's video. Thanks so much for swinging by. We hope you join us again for the next one.